Hello, Robbie K here, doing another Robbie's Famous Movie Reviews, and we've got a double for you. Tonight, our first one is going to start with Venom, which I did see last night, but sorry, it took me a little while longer to get it posted with everything. Anyway, tonight is all about the new anti-hero film, or perhaps a superhero film, depending on your point of view. Regardless, I guess you would say, alternate universe to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that Disney has made, we get the Sony Marvel Cinematic Universe. Trying to kick it off strong with a Venom one, and potentially opening up a lot of confusing points in its massive, messy visuals that the trailers came up with. What's the verdict? As always, Robbie K appreciates you checking in on his reviews. And with it, hopefully we'll put some guidance for you. So let's get started. First of all, if you're new to it, we start with the trailer of what it kind of looked like. Venom, being one of Spider-Man's arch rivals, is essentially an alien symbiote capable of merging with just about everyone and turning him into a superpowered, nightmarish-looking creature that has a lot of psychological tests to which it goes through. To prove whether it's good, bad, or maybe just in between. Regardless, the monster-ish movie looks to have some horror, some thrills, some chills, and some comedy, especially with Tom Hardy being the leading actor. But again, did the trailers fool us? Or is it essentially a good movie that we're just not looking at? That's where Phase 1 comes in. In terms of Venom, I have to say that I did enjoy it in terms of a comedic aspect. As thanks to mainly the main actor of Tom Hardy, as well as the dialogue for Venom and Eddie Brock, that's Tom Hardy's character, really balancing it out. There's a bunch of quirkiness, and it's just a very chaotic, very, excuse me, a very dark version of your typical anti-hero movie. So did enjoy those aspects of it, and the fact that it had a pace that continued to move. However, its storytelling, its action, and a couple of other things are a little too chaotic, like the visuals of Venom taking over Eddie Brock's character. And with it, while it showed some promise, didn't quite deliver. It still has a lot of hammering out and script writing to look into. Really needed to focus on a couple of other things and not drop as much as it did. While I didn't hate it as much as other people did, I also can't say that it's the best in terms of our Marvel introduction movies. And Sony's really going to have to do a lot of work to kind of bring it back up and be as strong as a Disney counterpart. But still, the visuals and stuff make it a theater-worthy movie for the special effects. But otherwise, probably going to want to sit this one out. Now, if you're just looking for a quick and dirty, we're done with that part of the review. Next, we're going into the details for those of you new to the channel. So I always like to start with kind of the likes versus the dislikes first. In regards to the likes, as I said earlier, Tom Hardy was probably the best part of the movie. But before I get to him, I did like the darker component. And I felt that it went at least a little bit along the lines of what the comic is. Venom is not a Spider-Man goody two-shoes. He's not the Captain America bravado. He's more of like the darker version of what we're seeing in the later parts of the Marvel Cinema Universe. And with it, I gotta say that I think they did a nice job bringing a little more of the character component of nightmarish, parasitic, and really a darker aspect looking for survival above all else. But outside of that, the bad guys kind of felt in character. There were a number of things that I feel were at least down in the right direction from the baseline of it. In addition, I gotta say that there were some visuals and some action stunts that I myself did enjoy. There's a bike chase, which you see in the trailers, that I felt was comedic and fun and a good portrayal of powers. And there was a little bit of Venom versus the common folk, again seen in the trailers, that also held some good moments to it. So, I'll give them components of that. Sound editing-wise, from Venom's voice work to just the slithering symbiotic goo that covers him, I give him props on that too, because of the fact that it kind of brings you into feeling like you're in some type of weird alien situation. Throwing the explosions and the six spam boom ba, bam. You've got yourself a decent sound editing component that at least I think would be probably in the category of best sound editing in Oscars. Regardless, now let's get to kind of where the two strengths of the movie are for me. The first is essentially that Tom Hardy just knocked it out of the park. Absolutely love when this guy comes in and brings with it a lot of, shows off his chameleon-like abilities to play a lot, and I repeat, a lot of roles. He's got the psychotic, the loser, the guy down on his luck, and the stalwart vigilante looking for justice. I mean, it all fits together, and he somehow does it without overacting, very natural, and really is like the part of the comedy that had me like in chuckles. Then you throw in the fact that they altered his voice and he brought still some dynamic to that, and again you have a great dynamic spread that he does well with. In regards to the comedy itself, again, that dialogue I mentioned earlier is funny. It's a rivalry, sort of like the Odd Couple coming together, each testing the moral backgrounds, each testing each other's limits, and just throwing some clever one-liners and just some well-timed punches in to really have me in my seats. Yes, there is some mature language and there's some darker features, so kids, watch out for that. But overall, I did enjoy that dynamic and did find myself laughing a lot at it, whether directly or indirectly. More on the indirectly later. In addition, there is a near-end credit scene that is going to kind of do a bit of a pass-off to the next movie coming in this universe, and ironically a different universe, but still the Sony universe. So, you know, that one's definitely worth a stay through if you want something to potentially light some hope for their next project. But outside of that, that's about all the likes I can say for it. Now, in regards to dislikes, again, this starts off with the fact of, without the budget or perhaps without the interest, a lot of this is going to pale to the Disney counterparts. So we kind of have to try to separate that a little bit and not get too waylaid on it. So when it comes to Venom, one of the biggest things is, let's go back to the action scenes. There were a couple that really whetted the appetite, the palate, to get you excited for what was hopefully going to be a suspenseful finish, and it just didn't work. That final battle was very anticlimactic, and with it, it was just wanting to see Venom's full powers come out. Maybe from a story element, it works as he's regaining strength, but it really could have been a little more evolved, because outside of it, it was a little more of a hulking beast and a very fast camera work that just didn't live up to what I was hoping to see. I guess part of that also comes from the fact of this kind of major dislike of story element with underutilization of other gimmicks that were thrown into the trailer. Let's start with the story component. Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America. These origin stories could be standalone movies, and while some of them were maybe not the best, they at least felt complete, and many of them only kind of underutilizing a segment or two there, but overall being good origin stories. I'm not saying this one was a bad origin story, but the problem is that there was a lot teased in the trailer that they just poorly utilized. Fans of the comic books will most likely see that a lot of the other symbiotes that were in in the trailers that you saw really didn't get utilization, and even the antagonist that was supposed to fight Venom really was kind of used in the background and not the most integrated design. So I can't say that they did a really good job with it. And as a result, you just really lost a lot of the involvement that this movie could have had and the potential to expand upon the series. And it was just, there were a lot of shortcuts taken that I don't think they should have taken to make the strongest movie. In addition, I have to say that the other secondary characters, yeah, they did their parts, but I guess I was looking for a little more integration, involvement, and really trying to work on obtaining that balance that Marvel Cinemas, most of their films, can do. In addition, I guess I was really looking for just a better pace of the story and maybe not so much rushed character development overall. And in regards to the visuals, you'll take them, you'll leave them. It's better than anything I can do, but at the same time, it did take a step back from some of the things that we've seen other studios produce out there. But overall, it was kind of a step back to the Spider-Man 3. Maybe that was to pay homage to it. Maybe that was to do tribute. I would say maybe next time look to evolving a few more things. And again, utilizing your technology to integrate a lot of components. And really deliver that finish I think you were looking for. But otherwise, you know, this wasn't too bad of an overall movie, and I'm not going to give it a 1 or a 2 like some people have done. I'd say it's probably a solid 5 or 6 in regards to its area. Maybe more of like a 6, 6.5 in terms of its categories. Maybe a 6 to 5.5 for movie overall. The truth is, though, is that the movie has set some things and in motion, and most likely brought about another series to get on board with. But I'm hoping that they'll take some of this criticism, put a new spin on it, and really make the second sequel, to which they've already, the second movie, or the first sequel. Hopefully they put a little promise in there with its seating, though I gotta say, don't like what they did with some of the costume departments. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Regardless, Venom is a special effects palooza, but it's a little too chaotic and underdeveloped / temperamental to really say that it's got all of its eggs in the right baskets right now. And with any luck, it will develop into a big series. I myself would say if you're looking for special effects, that's where the theater-worthy quality is coming in. Otherwise, wait till it hits the streaming sites, my friends, and enjoy your laughs from the comfort of your own couch. This is Robbie K signing off for this review. Stick around. We're going to do the other big movie of the weekend coming up. Thanks. Bye.